Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode here on African Confessions. The following story that you're going to be listening to, it was sent to one of our admins. The message reads like this. Hello, Brother Nashi, how are you? Can you please post my own story as hidden identity? My brother, I am a South African man and I have been into this business of transporting coal as long as I can remember. With the money that my father left for me, my father, he was a lecturer at a certain university. After he had passed away, I then took the inheritance, the money that he had left for me, and another house that he had left in my name. I then sold it off, me and my wife. That was when we decided that it was far much better for us to buy some tipper trucks. So we got this other contract whereby we were transporting coal for Eskom. We were making a lot of money, and you know that when you start making a lot of money, you do not think about investing into other businesses. We thought that it was always going to be like this because at that time there were not a lot of people that had these tipper trucks. Most of them that had these tipper trucks, they were like your white companies, those ones that like had a lot of trucks. So there was not a lot of competition, and with the BEE that was coming into full force, it was quite easy for us as black people to get into this market and get our own share in this market. But what had happened prior to all of this was that in 2006, I had visited this other traditional healer who had promised me great wealth, and who had promised me that if I was going to be using his charms, then my trucks will never have any accident at all. So 2006 came and it went by, and in 2007, that was when one of my trucks had a very terrible accident, and one of the contracts that I had with this other mine, it was stopped because this issue, it had to be sorted out. This truck that had like that terrible accident, it was found not to be roadworthy. I was still fixing some stuff at the traffic department. Then unfortunately, the God then decided to punish me, and then the truck had like a heavy collision, and a lot of people died in that accident. So I then lost one of that contract. Let me say that the contract, it was only placed on hold for a short period of time whilst they were waiting for the courts to decide. But the court, when it decided, that was when I was told that in 30 days I was going to lose the contract. I was supposed to finish up some of the deliveries, and they were going to pay me up so that they can look for another logistic company. I rushed back to that traditional healer. This was in mid 2007 when I went to that traditional healer, and I spoke with him, and I said, if I lose this lucrative contract, then it means that I'm going to go broke. Some of the trucks that I had operating on the road, I had gotten them on installment, and each and every month, you know, the bank does not play around. You cannot negotiate with them. So I was scared that at the end of the day, they were going to come and they were going to repossess all these assets that I had, and I had invested a lot of money into these tipper trucks, even the trailers, since they were costing me a lot of millions. So when I returned back to that traditional healer, the healer then told me that he was about to give me a tokoloshi. He didn't beat about the bush. He said, at your house, I want you to plant a tree, and this tree that you're going to be planting, that is going to be the representation of this spirit that I'm going to give you, this tokoloshi that I'm going to be giving you. And after each and every 2 years, what I want you to do is that I want you to go to that tree, you and your wife, and you have to sacrifice blood. You have to pour blood on that tree. As long as this person is not related to you, if this person is from outside of the country, then it will be far much better. So Brother Nashi, this is what I started doing 2007, 2009, that was when the first sacrifice was required from me. So at that time, there were a lot of foreigners that were coming, especially from Zim. I was instructed to buy a plot. So I went into the farms where there are a lot of white farmers, and I bought my own plot there. So I started to pretend as if I was into this goat breeding. I had a few cattle that were there on that plot, and I built like my mansion that is there. So what I'll do is that most of the guys that will be traveling, I would actually pick them up, but one by one. And those guys that didn't have papers, those were the ones that I wanted so that they can come and work for me. So these guys that were working for me, those ones that were coming from other countries, I would go to the farm without their knowledge. I would do this late at night. I was told that for 7 days, when this person will be fast asleep, I had to take one of my long knives. Then I'll start to walk around that one-roomed house that I would have given them to sleep in whilst they were waiting for me. Then I would go round and round, round and round. Each and every day, I had to do this 8 times. And by the time that I would have finished going around the house, I'll be very tired. You can just imagine walking around the house 8 times for 7 days. And after the 7 days would have passed, then that tokoloshi, I will hand over the knife to that tokoloshi. Then it will go inside and it will murder that person that will be inside that house. And when I will return back to my house, which is in the city, then I would find out that there will be a bucket that will be full of blood. I used to purchase a lot of these buckets because these buckets, I only had to use them only once, and after that I had to throw them away. So I did this from 2009 until last year. There was this other guy that I picked up. So this guy, he was traveling with his wife. I did as I had been doing all of these years. I went to the place and I walked around the house 8 times for 7 days. When I returned back to the city, I expected the bucket to be full of blood, but this bucket had nothing inside. So I went back to that tree and I started to speak with the tokoloshi, and it didn't respond to me. I returned back to the plot, and to my surprise, this guy was still alive, but I saw a monkey that was just going around the farm, just going around. I returned back to that traditional healer and I spoke with him about the issue. Now it was his wife, because he's very old. The wife was the one who assisted me. She gave me more herbs that I was supposed to place in my pockets when I will be walking around that house where that guy was sleeping in with his wife, and they woke up dead, both of them. Did what I had been doing all of these years. I called the police. They came with the forensic, and the bodies were picked up. They were taken to the mortuary for the post-mortem, and like always, they were found to have died of a natural cause. But this is just something that was spiritual that was taking place. When we returned back to the plot to finish up the rituals, because the clothes of the deceased, we have to take them, and we can just find anywhere in the bushy areas where we would go and throw away these clothes so that the spirit of those people that we have been sacrificing cannot trouble me and my wife. When we returned back to the farm, we found out that there was a monkey that was sitting there, and these monkeys, they kept on multiplying. Brother Nashi, I swear to you, when we were driving back to our house in the city, we then found out that there was actually a monkey that was with us in our own car. Until recently, that was when I saw my child acting up like a monkey. My child was up in a tree, and on this other branch that he was hanging on, it was quite a very small branch, and I could not even understand how that branch could not break off. Now my child cannot even talk. When you try to speak with him, he acts as if he is a monkey. We have been going back to that traditional healer, but now I see that these healers, they do not have any powers to remove the side effects of those chocoloshis that they would have given you. Those people, they are just giving me the runarounds. I go to them and they tell me to go and perform these rituals. Some of the rituals that they have made me to perform is to sleep with a mad woman. Yes, I have done that. I have looked for a mad woman and I have slept with one, but still it is not changing. We have been trying to hide my child so that people cannot see that this is what is going on. We have made sure that none of our relatives visit us anymore because we are embarrassed about what my child is doing. I am scared that the spirits of those people that we sacrificed are now coming for us. If there is any traditional healer that comes from Zim, please tell me about him so that I can contact him, since most of these guys that we sacrificed, they come from that area. Our dear brother was even saying that you once hired this other guy who is a local guy so that he can be a driver. You said that guy just ran away. It seems as if he saw something terrible in that one-roomed house at his plot. He left his bag, he left his license, the ID card, everything. Just imagine. He just ran with his life.